Hey guys, welcome back to another episode of In the Corner with A. I'm so excited to have you guys on. This is the first episode that I'm doing with a video, of course. The setup, technically, I can't be asked, honestly. I've just been having such a weird day today. January blues is something. And I feel like I always get that on the 1st of January where I just severely contemplate every single thing that I'm doing and just start to question my entire existence. But you know what? It's 1 a.m. right now. It's now the 2nd of January. And I just thought, fuck it, and just record. So regardless of what the setup looks like, I'm in the corner in my room and we're going to be talking. And we're going to be talking a lot about starting again. We're going to be talking a lot about pushing yourself forward, and we're going to be talking a lot about the importance of putting yourself first. And I feel like in every single episode I've done pre-videos, before I started doing video podcasts, I've always spoken about this type of stuff, but I feel like it's been scattered all over the place. But today's focus is more so going to be about time is an illusion and how time is just man-made and it's not real. Obviously, the concept of time is such a beautiful blessing that people tend to look over and not really understand the power time has in healing, the power time has in forming friendships and bonds, and the power time has in understanding who you are. Obviously, in life, we go through so many situations that really make us question what our purpose is and why we are here. And I feel like there are so many quotes that I've discovered on Instagram Reels or just on X, which is Twitter, by the way. First of all, he even calls Twitter X anymore. And I feel like it just hit me like a brick. The stuff that I'm reading really taps into spirituality and the subconscious mind of we literally have two lives, and the second one starts when we are aware of the first one that we have. The second life starts when we know that we only have one. Because a lot of the time, for example, using New Year's as an example, people will sit there and be like, oh, I'll start in the New Year's, oh, this, oh, that. They have so much time on their hands, but they choose when to start and they'll put a time limit on when they are going to start for that event. Time is an illusion, literally. It doesn't exist. And people will be like, they'll be living vicariously through a schedule, or they'll be living vicariously through a system, the 9 to 5 system, the work 5 days a week and take 2 days off, and I'm going to start relaxing on a Saturday. And it's like, you don't need to wait for the big moment to start. You don't need to wait for the weekend to relax and go on a getaway. Obviously, like, people's circumstances and situations can affect when and how they can do certain things. But at the end of the day, time is an illusion. Literally, the second life starts when you notice that you only have one, and that's when people tend to start to lock in. That is when people will sit there and start having routines and they'll start to put in an effort. But then again, I feel like when it comes to actually realizing how much time has been wasted, people will use it as a depreciating value to not start. And I feel like that's where a lot of people go wrong. A lot of people go wrong when they sit and question every single thing they've done in their life with their time. And if they haven't received results that they wanted at a certain age or point, then they'll just discourage themselves even more. And I know it gets jarring. I know it gets irritating and frustrating having to start again. But that's the thing. It's perseverance. It's discipline. It's about pushing yourself forwards first, whatever. It's about pushing yourself first and understanding that if you always show up for yourself, it will get easier. It will get less strenuous and less difficult to manage. And it's just a form of self-love. Self-love doesn't have to be fucking putting skincare on your face and face masks and hair masks and all that. Self-care comes in multiple forms. I think I spoke about this in episode 4. I do not remember. But literally, realizing and self-awareness is key, and that is a form of self-care from within. Today's generation has a fucked up way of people thinking of themselves, whether it be in competition with other people or just seeing social media posts and comparing their lives to how others have. And I know this quote is so over-rinsed and used or whatever. You can't be comparing your chapter 1 to someone's chapter 50, and that is so true. And I feel like even to this day, people still do that, but they're not aware of it because they are just so consumed by social media. They're just so consumed by brain rots, by scrolling on socials. I myself, I don't use TikTok. I think Instagram is my form of TikTok, but even when I was active on TikTok, my For You page was more so catered to what I wanted to see. I basically manipulated my algorithms to show me videos that I want, books to read that are perfect and fit for mental health purposes. Instead of just pointless things and just memes and stuff, yeah, cool, here and there, it will be fun on the occasion, but at the end of the day, control what you are consuming, because the subconscious really is a powerhouse. And it basically feeds off of what you are giving it. If you're filling your brain with rots and you're filling your brain with useless, pointless information, it's going to give you that. Stop meandering about doing stupid things and giving your time to stupid people and stupid situations that are not going to serve you any good. Energy is an important investment that you need to make. with the right clear mind and decision. Because at the end of the day, one of the biggest regrets people have in life is time. If they could go back, what would they have done different? If they could go back, what would I have done? Would I have done this instead? Would I have taken this opportunity? The answer is yes, yes, yes. That's the thing. But nowadays, I feel like people just take time for granted. There are so many people missing out on the greats, on what they could have been, simply because they are investing and putting their time and energy into pointless things that do not have a good return of investments. And that, my friends, is an important and tough life lesson and a pill to swallow, a hard pill to swallow. I think certain goals for this year is just to protect inner peace. And I feel like as people age, I was in the kitchen cooking food earlier and I was listening to this song. And it was by SZA and Doechii, their new release. I think it's Girl Get Up or Get Up Girl. And it just really made me think. Things that used to excite me don't excite me anymore. And that's obviously like a normal process of growing into becoming better humans and just growing as a human in general. By nature, you just grow out of things that you once loved. But I feel like the most important thing that people need to prioritize, especially in this new year, just in general as well, specifically not waiting for January 2026 to come, is putting yourself first and stop chasing people. Stop texting fast. Stop prioritizing people and do not put people on a pedestal. What benefit does that bring you, is what I want to ask you. Messaging first, okay, cool, conversation starts, you can make plans, but at the end of the day, was that energy reciprocated? Because had you never messaged first, the convo would be drier than the Sahara Desert and that would have never gone anywhere. Of course, you're the one that starts it, you're the one that makes the message, you're the one that makes the meet, the conversation, but it's a two-way street, not a one-way road. You have to put yourself first. And if you witness yourself in this mental space, why are they not messaging me back? What do I do? Should I message them? If you have to question whether to message someone or not, don't do it, girl. Don't do it. No. Be selfish. You have to be. And people can be like, oh, but I have an open heart and I'm just so caring and loving. Yes, I'm not telling you to be a prick. I'm telling you to be selfish. Be selfish with where you invest your time. Say no to places and say no to motives and outings with friends that just don't serve you spiritually, mentally, or energetically. I myself have a lot of friends, and in those different friendship groups that I have, there are people that do things, or there are events that just don't cater to my needs. For example, let's say a group of friends, let's say group A, right? They're the type to go clubbing, drinking, not my cup of tea, but I would hang out with them if I want to just take my mind off of certain things. But I have limits. I won't go drinking or I won't go clubbing with them because it's just, I have other forms of creativity or other forms of joy and happiness that I can cater to rather than shaking my ass in a club. Group B, that friendship group, is a more spiritual, adventurous, nature walks and nature talks kind of group. And that is where I would tend to see myself going into and what I'd rather spend my time doing. Literally just not walking in a park at night, but you know what I mean? Surrounding myself with just good energy, pure vibes, and just contentment. You need to start saying no, because when you say yes to everything, doors are going to close in your face before you even know it. You are like the one who is stopping yourself from achieving greater success. And if you think yes is going to get you every opportunity in the world, you are wrong. No gives you that perspective of boldness. Saying no gives you the courage, strength, and the determination to know what's best for you and what is perfectly suited for you. Obviously, we don't know the trajectory life is going to take us and when time is going to unfold certain things and give us brand new doors to open and kick down with so much grace and positivity and prosperity. But you have to start from within. You have to say no to things that don't serve you. Do not be a people pleaser. It doesn't get you anywhere. It gets you used and abused. Life lesson. When it comes to certain situations regarding feelings and emotions and, putting yourself first and people acknowledging emotions and feelings, that was such a tongue twister. Am I making sense? I always am. Feeling is not weak. How you act when it comes to acknowledging those feelings and emotions determines your weaknesses and your strengths. I think prior to episode 9, just listen to all my episodes. You'll know what I'm talking about. Because obviously on multiple times I go on different tangents. But when people sit and run away from feelings or run away from communicating with a loved one or a partner or an ex or a situationship or whatever the fuck the case is, how someone feels and how they handle that situation shows. If they're a weak person, they'll run away, they'll block, they'll cut contact, and they won't even bother explaining. Sometimes things are better off left unsaid, understandable. But when people get afraid or jittery when it comes to the concept of having a healthy communicative response or approach, and they don't see eye to eye with that or any value in that, that's the weak person. If you can't acknowledge your feelings or your emotions and sit down with yourself and tell yourself, okay, I love this person, I like this person, we have things to work on. If you can't do that, but you choose to run away and lead the other person on, you are a weak individual and you need some help. You need to change certain ways, because that is not a healthy way to approach and live life. If you are simply harming people with the way you act and the silence and the violence, well, not physical violence, I mean, don't want to speak about that, but a lot of the time, silence is volume, and silence says more than words can say. You might think that life can get so exciting when there's so many doors that are just blaring noise at you, but you need to close the doors that are just causing unnecessary noise. And you might think, oh, opportunities will come from this and opportunities will come from that. Understandable. But at the end of the day, you are going to burn yourself out if you open all these doors that are in your direction. You have to be selective with your time. You have to be selective with your energy. You have to be selective with your purpose and where you want to go. And it all starts from saying no to things that serve you no good. Even if you think it's going to be a fun, exciting adventure, do it for your future self. Do it for the mental clarity. Say no. Don't put yourself through consistent moments and continuous approaches and just unnecessary people and drama. Because what is that going to do? It's going to drain the life out of you. And then when the time comes, when the universe and God blesses you with the opportunity, you're just going to be so drained and you're going to have no energy because you invested 100% of yourself into that incident or person or situation or scenario, to a point where now you are on your own. You have nothing to give yourself, no energy to be creative, no energy to go to the gym, no energy to write, to sing, to dance, to do none of that, because it was all wasted on a shitty investment with no good ROI. It all starts from within. And close those doors that cause too much noise, mentally, physically, and spiritually. And stop putting so much thought into the externalities, causing internal stress, and thinking that if I have this and if I have that, it will cause me to be a better person, or I can't live without a partner, or I can't live without a boyfriend or a girlfriend, or I can't live without this, bracelet or belt or fucking bag or this car. Everything you seek is from within, and you have to show so much grace and gratitude. Be appreciative of what you have. At the end of the day, we all have our own lives. We all have our own journeys, and grace and blessings all come from within. You have to appreciate what you have. Waking up this morning is a big blessing in itself that many people don't appreciate. And it's so sad to see, because the world is literally ending and crumbling in front of our eyes. People are passing away. What's written for them happens. God is the best of planners. And appreciate every single day like it's your last. And it's crazy to say, because time flies like this. I'm going to be 23 next month. And I just look back and I'm like, what the hell? 6 years has gone by in the blink of an eye. I remember when I was 17. Oh my days. And now I'm 23. Filming in my room, doing In the Corner with A. Crazy. In another episode, I do want to speak about the unfinished room theory. Or was it unfinished house? One of those two. But long story short, it's the concept that speaks about each person that comes into your life has a room in the house. Your house being you, your house being your mind and your brain and your spirit. One person comes in, they decorate the house nicely, nice interior, nice sofa, marble kitchen counters. They make it nice and homely and comfortable. That's that one person, and that's the allocated room. Let's say the kitchen. The next person comes into the bedroom, causes a mess, rips off the wallpaper, puts paint all over the walls, and fucking empties alcohol on the floor, stenches up that nasty ass room. That's the image they leave, and that's the room in your mind. That represents that person who's fucked up the room, the bedroom. The next person comes in, and let's say they renovate the garden, or the patio, or the swimming pool. And it's unfinished because they have left halfway, which signifies and indicates temporary people that come into your life and they go. And the unfinished room theory basically has this concept and idea that when you look at someone, how you perceive them and what value they bring into your life is the answer. And it will change the way you think of viewing people. And at the end of the day, putting yourself first and being selective, as what I was saying earlier, is the goal. I feel like I've offered so much in this episode, but you know what? New year, new beginnings. First video episode. And also I know the quality is kind of weird. But to be fair, I'm not really fussed about it because I wanted to have that VHS effect, that nice, cozy, grungy, in the corner, relaxing effect. Not everything has to be perfect. The message is there. The message will always be there. It's about how you take it. But thank you so much for listening to this episode, and Happy New Year, guys. I shall see you hopefully every single Friday now, weekly episodes, and good night.